Welcome to 90 Terabytes of Alternative Gaming with your hosts, Taylor
and Q.
Nuclear launch detected.
90 Terabytes of Alternative Gaming does not represent the views of WWSP, 90 FM, or the University of Wisconsin school system. The views expressed and the information given in this broadcast can be used at the sole risk of the listener.
Listening to this broadcast is guaranteed to increase your wisdom by 5 points.
The Enrichment Center is required to remind you that you will be baked, and then there will be cake.
Hey, listen!
Hello there, and welcome to another edition of 90 Terabytes of Alternative Gaming here on 90 FM on our new time slot, which, by the way, I don't think we mentioned last week.
Yeah, we did.
Okay,
I
good.
mentioned
All right.
it. Yeah, we're at 5 o'clock now, so you out there listening world.
Welcome to the new time slot.
Yes, if you've never listened to us before, this is 90 Terabytes of Alternative Gaming. We are a video game talk show. We talk about video games, video game communities, video game companies.
Video game players.
Yep, bad video game companies, good ones, the really evil ones, the gigantic ones.
Yeah, the corporate overlords.
The nice indie people, since we are an independent radio station.
Yes.
Owned by the UW Board of Regents.
We are the voice of the little man.
Yes. But our opinions are purely our own. They do not reflect anybody else,
At all.
anywhere, anytime, any place. They do not reflect WWSP 90 FM, the radio station you're currently listening to, WWSP Stevens Point, which is the radio station you're currently listening to, sorry. Doesn't reflect UW Stevens Point, the UW Board of Regents, the UW system,
Bell and Sebastian.
UW Madison.
Matt and Kim.
Yeah, anybody.
Wiley.
Yeah.
We just heard Wiley, by the way. That was why I made that one.
And these opinions are purely our own, and the people's opinions on this show today. Q right here in the air chair.
With Taylor, forgot to do the intro, and our guest this week,
Brian,
the rare and elusive sports gamer, which we do
Yes.
not have very frequently, which will be interesting.
Yes, we are going to be talking about Madden today, including a bunch of other really awesome games that are going to be coming out very soon. I know November is going to be pretty crazy for
Everybody,
most gamers.
yeah.
I mean, Skyrim, Battlefield, Call of Duty.
There's going to be a lot of closed doors.
Yeah.
A lot of people not leaving.
Especially here on a college campus, that's going to be pretty crazy.
It's pretty much Christmas for anybody that lives with their mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, hey, you know what? I don't live with my mom, and I still don't plan on leaving the house for about half a month.
But, yep, our opinions are purely our own. I mentioned it again.
Yep.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
us.
Yep. So we can go on to our first little story. Do you want to get right into the nuts and bolts and talk about Madden, or do you want to talk about another little story you got in front of you?
I am totally fine talking about Madden, but I'm going to say right now basically sports game other than like Mario Tennis that I really played was like NFL Blitz.
Dude, NFL
So I'm gonna be
Blitz
pretty far
was
behind.
Legit.
Oh,
Yeah,
it was really fun, but that's mostly because I would win like 98-3.
Right.
I was a very, very big fan of that game for that sole reason.
A lot of people bought that game, and then
That was the
obviously
classic
Just trounced it, yeah.
John Elway versus Brett Favre matchups.
those were good days.
Good days,
Yes.
good times.
Things that I don't know those names. I'm sorry. I'm just
You
gonna laugh and
obviously know
smile.
Brett Favre and John Elway are.
I know who they are,
Okay.
but yes.
That's all that matters, I guess. Okay, well, yeah, we'll go right into it. You were there at the opening launch of the game.
Yeah.
You've been to probably almost all of the launches of the game since you became an
Yes.
adult.
Yeah, I came out playing Madden. My mom was concerned. It's all right though. It's good.
Yeah. So, how were the launch parties? The
Well-
normal ones, or
Well, yeah. So I went to 2 this year. I hit up the GameStop tournament in Rapids, and I also hit the Walmart tournament in Rapids. GameStop tournament. GameStop kind of they kind of dropped the ball a little bit.
GameStop did bad?
Well, normally they give out a free copy of the game. This year they downgraded to like a $20 gift card to the winner, and I was a little disappointed with that. But nonetheless, there was some decent competition at the GameStop tournament. It was good. I mean, it was solid. There some 12-year-old kid won. Go figure.
Shocking. Yeah, truly shocking in the world of video games.
Some 12-year-old kid beat all of these 20-year-old cocky guys with their hats on backwards in their jerseys, their game-worn jerseys that they bought off eBay.
If I played those games, that would make me super angry, but as a third person, that's really funny.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, I play those games. So.
It's still,
Well,
I'm assuming, pretty
ain't
funny.
gonna win StarCraft. I'll tell you that.
Oh, no.
Yeah, well.
No, but Walmart tournament was actually pretty good. My brother actually won the Walmart tournament.
Very cool.
Which the funny thing is my brother never beats me ever, and he just somehow pulls out this miraculous run in the Walmart tournament, and he just went through everybody. He played as the Saints, and basically just threw the ball on everybody, and I don't think he had a close game. I think the closest game was 21 points, and he took it down, won his copy, and
Jeez.
How long were the quarters?
we played 3-minute quarters, which is pretty decent for a tournament. The GameStop was 2-minute quarters, so basically it was one possession per half. It was that's part of the reason. But I understand why they do that, to keep things moving. You got 40 guys and 4 TVs. You got to kind of keep things moving.
Yeah.
But Walmart tournament, there was some good competition there. The cool thing about the Walmart tournament was that everybody had to play as a unique team, whereas in GameStop I wouldn't.
It could be the Saints versus the Saints.
It was the Saints. It was the
Yeah.
Packers versus the Eagles, and the Packers versus the Packers, and Eagles versus the Eagles the whole way through. I played as the Saints. Some kid played as the 49ers, and actually won a few games, which was good with Colin Kaepernick. But yeah. Anyways, Walmart, you had to play as unique teams. I ended up signing up late, so I got stuck with the Lions, which is not as bad as it sounds, but it's bad. And so basically what I wanted to kind of, little bass.
Yeah, we just got earthquaked.
Earthquake.
All right.
Not a real earthquake out there.
Yeah,
Listening world. Not a real
Not a
earthquake.
real one.
We are on the radio.
Fair enough, yes.
Basically, with the new system, how 11 was a little different, or the 12's a little different than 10, or 12's a little different than 11. Yeah,
Yes.
that's what
It'd be substantially different from 10, I would assume, yes.
But they definitely integrated this kind of hot and cold thing where if you started off and you threw 2, 3, 4 complete passes in a row, your quarterback got hot, and all of a sudden things started going well for you in the game, and you could actually notice it. And I played as the Lions, and so I had Matt Stafford, and he fluctuates a lot. So the first game I squeaked out, and he threw, I think the first 2 passes he threw a pick. I threw a pick, and it was just really hard, so I had to run the ball with Javad Best a little bit, and I eventually won the game. I ended up getting to the semis. The game I lost was against my brother's buddy. And,
How many people were actually at the Walmart one?
Well, there was 32 teams, but some guys didn't show up. I'd say there was probably 25, 26.
It's
Wow,
midnight,
yeah.
right?
No, this was the day of.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I was down 21-7, fourth quarter, 21-7 with a minute left. I go down, score touchdown with about 46 seconds left. So I'm down 21-14. I get my onside kick. Hallelujah. I go down. I'm on the 7-yard line. I run with Matt Stafford. He gets down to the 1. I spike it with a second left. I run a sweep to tie the game. And then I kick it off, and he goes and scores in overtime, and I lose. So
Bummer.
yeah, it's just how it goes. But I definitely, 11 is just head and shoulders above, or 12's a head and shoulders above 11. It's the gameplay. If you guys know anything about just how the gameplay was in 11, there was suction tackles. I mean, your running back or whoever would be running with the ball, and then the defender would come within some sort of halo,
And that would,
and then just suck to
It'd
them.
trigger like an animation that
It would,
automatically
it
got
would
him
trigger
there.
an animation.
Yeah.
Well, this year they still trigger animations, but the suctions are completely gone. You actually feel like it's a real
You're
tackle.
actually, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and people that should get tackled on the first hit are getting tackled on the first hit, and people that should break tackles are breaking tackles, and which is a very nice improvement because I hate to see Reggie Bush break 7 tackles when you know that he's going to go over the first time a linebacker touches him. So that was a good thing. Another cool thing I got to play was the franchise mode, totally revamped. They redid the franchise mode. Now, one of the best features for me in the franchise mode was they expanded the rosters in the preseason, like the real NFL.
Yeah, now they're up to 75.
They're up, yeah, and now you can cut them down. So you play a preseason. Now it gives you incentive to play the preseason game. I would just sim the preseason games because
Everybody
they were pointless.
simulated the preseason games.
So you can actually I think you start with 90 and you actually get it down to your 53-man roster, and it's pretty sweet. So, Chris Collinsworth sucks. So
Your opinions are purely known. You can say whatever.
I can say whatever I want. And Chris Collinsworth, he's saying the same stinking phrases since 2004 or whatever he was. It's just
Yeah,
the commentary is kind of garbage. That's the one.
That's kind of how it's always been.
It's always been that way.
I mean,
but you
played the original Madden games just so you could hear boom
Yeah,
as many times as you possibly could, because it was such a novelty of the game.
If I have to hear Chris Collinsworth say, "Oh, a tight end is a quarterback safety blanket," one more time, I think I'm gonna punch my TV. So.
It's going to be a flux of destroyed TVs as Madden 12 becomes more popular.
Yes.
Other cool things that you can do, obviously including all the awesome things we talked about now, trading draft picks.
Yes, future draft picks now. You can trade 2 years ahead, which is nice because you can only trade a year ahead before, and you're kind of stuck in 1 year mode. So.
Yep.
But the cool thing now is I've got a fantasy football league going on NFL.com, and I can actually run my fantasy football league from my Madden hub now, which is pretty cool. I like that.
So you actually can play it straight through your Xbox.
Yeah, I can play. I can update my lineups and do everything straight through my Xbox now. Co-op still sucks. Playing defense on co-op is horrible. It's
been that way for a while.
Yeah, it's been. They didn't improve that much, but
did they actually try to improve it?
No. I think they just kind of
coming out in Madden 12.
Yeah,
or Madden 13.
Exactly. So, but yeah. So I got some things that I was gonna talk about how some things that I run, just some tips or anything like that.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I know we have a lot of listeners.
Yeah, you can review the game as much as you want or talk about it.
Yes, sure. So basically, if I were to put this on like a 5-star scale, I'd give it like...
We give it out of 100 with a point system.
Okay,
So
out of 100, I'd give it like a 79.844.
Jeez.
Right? 79.844.
Precision grading.
Why such a low score?
I'd say that's a C+, B-, right? 79.
79 is a C+.
C+,
yeah,
B-.
Unless you're curving.
That's where it is. It's still got some more to go. I mean, I know a lot of guys that are still playing NFL 2K5 and updating their rosters because they just don't like the gameplay in Madden.
You said 79 point what?
79.884. I think 885 was a little high. So, I just...
So would you say you expect, like, how much better? You said it's way better than 11,
It's way
right?
better than 11, but 11 got a D for me.
Well, yeah. Do you like see this continuing? Do you
Yes,
think,
I think EA and Ian Cummings, who is the creative director at EA for Madden, I think that they're finally getting some things together.
Right.
I do like the unique presentation. Every time you're the home team, you have your own unique entrance into the stadium. I know it's kind of just a cutscene, but
Yeah.
I still like it. It makes you want to play as other teams to kind of see the stadiums feel real.
It gives personalization to each team.
It does. So
what are the biggest points you have for it?
The biggest thing going
over
for
previous games, because what you're doing is not when you review a game that's come out. This is I think like the 15th version of the game. You gotta obviously review with all the previous games before it.
Madden 84, I think it was the first one. Madden 85, something like that.
17 years ago?
No, 84, bro. I was
84.
That's like 28 years.
84? No way.
I think it was. It was in the 80s. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
So, yeah.
And it's still considered the same franchise.
Yeah, it's still the same franchise, and it's the official game of the NFL. Now, one thing to the NFL. And Madden and EA have a contract through 13, I believe it is. I'm not positive.
Yeah, and that's the reason NFL Blitz ceased to be.
Right.
It's because the NFL actually physically went with
Madden.
The EA franchise.
So, but
first released in 88.
88, excuse me. So it's 23
it's
years.
Still,
23 years old.
Yeah.
So
and one every year.
So 88 was the first release in original Nintendo. Then was it an NES title?
I'm assuming it was NES.
Wow.
So
huh. I guess I never realized that same franchise has run that long.
And they actually, I was reading an article. They actually brought on John Madden, and John Madden wanted nothing to do with it originally.
He didn't think it would ever go.
He never thought it would go anywhere. And he says the only way I'm going to do this is if it looks and feels like real football.
It was released for the Apple II.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that's not even. And with the Bethesda physics engine.
What?
Yeah, but I didn't even know Bethesda existed in 88.
What are the chances of that?
Okay, well, yeah. I mean,
that's
we've
insane.
been talking about Bethesda all
the time.
They had to give Tecmo Super Bowl a little run for its money.
Yeah, Tecmo Super Bowl was an
that was
amazing
legit.
Game. That one I play a lot still.
Yes.
I mean those.
Yes.
Those are good days. Those are good days. But so your biggest points.
My biggest points. Okay, I would say the gameplay has made a huge jump. I think it's got a ways to go. It's the Pro Tack system and the tackling system without the suction has just made a huge. It plays, especially the quarterback play. The quarterbacks play like they do in real life. When you're Mike Vick, it's like you're like Jesus and Chuck Norris smashed together, and you're about as fast as Mike Vick. So it's good, but at the same time they have balanced that out where the quarterback spies that are supposed to protect against that do an excellent job about containing running quarterbacks. Now, if you're not running a spy, like that's just one of the tactic or the strategies, I'm gonna drop back, I'm gonna let my receivers run downfield, I'm gonna take off with Vic, I'm gonna slide for 13 yards. So I'd say that's a big thing. I think the franchise mode, the way they've expanded it with the draft picks and with the expanding the rosters in the preseason, that was huge for me. It gives it more, it feels more real. And I like the hot and cold thing. When a quarterback starts out hot, he stays hot for the whole game. Like I said, Matt Stafford was really cold in my first game.
Now, can you actually lose that if like you do
Yes.
over the course of the game start
Yes.
missing?
And
Okay,
it
so it's
Throwing touchdown passes.
Right, and it warms them up. Well, the first game, Matt Stafford started out really bad for me, but the second game, I kind of noticed from the first game, and I just started throwing little dink and dunk passes, getting them in a rhythm, and there was an actual rhythm to it, and he felt more. It was a weird feeling.
Saying with the stadium, actually, the stadium went with you.
Right.
Playing it
Yep.
in that first game.
Yes. So.
I mean, then the stadium gets with you, and then the crowd screaming. And then
Right,
all the
and the same goes with the wide receivers. Wide receiver drops a pass, he's more likely to drop another pass. But if he catches 2 or 3 in a row, the chances of him dropping one are slimmer. So I really like the realism of the game.
no, that's an interesting thing actually. I think that's pretty cool.
I think they put some thought into it. I honestly, I love Madden and I'll always play Madden. I hope that they continue to keep growing off of what they did from 11 to 12. And I honestly think by 14 or 15, we are going to have just an amazing product. I really, really believe that.
You're still saying that the franchise has been out since '88. You still have 3 more years.
I mean, it went from. Here's the thing, though. It went from 06 was the first next gen Xbox 360 console. When it was Madden 06 on PS2, that was the prime time for Madden, as far as I'm concerned. That is the best Madden game. PS2 Madden 06. That was so solid. But
the 2 I had for the Super Nintendo were very good.
They were, yeah, and for the time, especially PS2 is awesome. And then it made the jump to next gen, and it's just now finally catching up to what the next gen is capable of. 06 on 360 was the worst Madden game I'd ever played.
Well, I think you see a lot of franchises like that end up rushing too.
Yes.
When a new console comes out, they just we need to, basically as this launches, get our name associated with it. And so I think quality can go out the window with any kind of franchise.
And
really.
It's not like StarCraft, where you have StarCraft 1 in 1995, and then you wait 15 years to revamp it and do a new one. It's Madden this year, and then they have exactly 12 months to put out another one. They have another, they only have that small window. So I understand that they can only make small improvements.
You just mentioned the 2 extremes of video games.
Absolutely, yeah.
You got one fantastic game
that took forever to make.
1996, and then 1998's the expansion, and then literally you waited until 2009, 2010 to even hear a word about.
I think
StarCraft.
I was still wet in the bed when StarCraft 1 came out.
Oh yeah, that was so long ago. Yeah,
it was forever.
7 years old. Wow.
So, but yeah, so just a couple of things. I like to think I'm pretty good. I'm not gonna be like, I'm this Madden expert, but I do run a few things that have worked for me. That if you're playing at home, you might want to try. I have been running the run and gun offensive playbook since 05. I know I can literally call a play and not have to look at the screen. I just know it's 2 downs and B, or 2 downs and Y, or whatever, because I just know the playbook. And the best play in that playbook is in the run and gun playbook, you go to shotgun tight flex, and it's wide receiver cross. The A route runs across the middle, and against most man and most zone, he's open, and the running back's almost always open too. It's kind of a money play. It's a little cheesy. I mean, it's not. You can hit it most every time, but that play has won me many games. Out of that same formation, when usually by the third quarter they get used to it, I run a quick looks. It's called. Basically, just the 2 outside receivers go out, and then the 2 inside receivers do curls, and somebody's open. Usually most of the time. If not, you can take off with your quarterback. But and then on defense, I run a 1-5-5 nickel, and basically 1 defensive lineman, 5 linebackers, 5 defensive backs, and I bring the pressure. You can bring a lot of pressure with that playbook. Blitzing up the A gap works great in Madden 12. For those of you that know what that means, you know what that means. So blitzing up the A gap works great. The other great, if it's 3rd and long and you need to play quarters cover 6. will do the trick for you. Basically, you have three down linemen. You're rushing, and the whole field's covered. A lot of hook zones, 3 deep zones. It's a good third and long play for you. But yeah, and then just a couple other quick things. Teams that I would stay away from. These are probably obvious. As much as it pains me, you probably want to stay away from the Buffalo Bills, even though that is my team. They are absolutely horrendous in this game.
Doing so well this year.
No, they're not doing well since the 90s. So, but teams that surprised me a little bit in the game. The Ravens are sick. You play if you want to run the ball, play some good D, and control the clock. Ravens are sick. They just picked up Lee Evans from Buffalo. He's good. The Eagles are obviously stacked, but I think too many people don't know how to actually use Vic, and they just run around with him. And if you know how to use Vic, the Eagles are also sick. They have 3 corners that are rated in the 90s, so their pass defense is awesome. But yeah, so that's what I got for you guys. But I'm pumped.
What are your worst points for the game? I mean, you gave it a C+. I mean,
C+, B-. I'd even say a B-. Could give it,
I mean, you gave it a 79.884. What are your worst points for it?
Worst points. I would say that the gameplay is still doesn't feel as realistic as it could. It's better than last year's, but it still feels like a video game, and I know it is, obviously. But with a football simulation, that's what it is. You want to feel like it's a football game, and there's still too many things like that play I just described. There's too many times I can just hit that play 20 times in a row, and the AI just doesn't catch up. It doesn't figure it out.
But I think that's an inherent problem anytime you're trying to make a simulator. Sure. Everything is going to inherently end up as a game, because unless you can literally make a perfect representation of reality, which you're never going to be able to, you're always going to be able to find that little like trick, and then you're going to be able to treat it like a video game. Then
I would say co-op is horrible. I would say it's not even worth your time. I wouldn't play it. I think the audio in the game isn't very good. I think the commentating wasn't great. I wish Gus Johnson could commentate my life. Gus Johnson can make a 3-yard run sound exciting, but Chris Collinsworth comes on there, and sometimes they missay things. They'll say, I was playing a game and it said Danny Woodhead threw a touchdown to Tom Brady. I was like, what? Okay. And it'll glitch up like that, and I guess that's to be expected a little bit. But I
don't really remember that with previous games.
It's happened. I've clocked in good amount of hours on 12, and it's happened a couple times already. So
yeah, I know, because we'd play it as a group of 3 friends, me and 2 of my friends, and we would sit on the Xbox and we'd play a whole season. Yeah, and I don't ever remember it ever messing up like that.
Yeah, it did a few times. Yeah, so. Oh, one other thing that is not that good is the threshold. This new threshold thing. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. Basically, you can set the threshold. Threshold's normally set at 50. Basically, it seems like the defensive linemen are keeping up with the running backs. Yeah. When you're running downfield, it shouldn't happen. I had a play. Javad Best is a 96 speed, and I was playing against the Packers. B.J. Raji caught me from behind. So.
And Raji weighs like twice as much.
Oh, at least. I mean, I think Raji's left leg is about as big as Javad Best.
Did pretty good during the Super Bowl. You have no idea, Taylor.
I honestly, I feel like this is what non-gamers hear when they listen to our show usually. So yeah.
So, but I think that was one of the things. But you can turn the threshold down. But for tournament play, they didn't want to tweak anything. Obviously,
they wanted the game.
The game straight up. So it was a little pain, because it was just like, why are my defensive linemen catching up with my 96 speed running back, or whatever he is, something like that. But yeah, so that's what I got for you guys. But those were some good things, some bad things.
It was a great review.
So
we gave it a 79.884 out of 100.
Put it in the record books. I thought it was 844.
Yeah, 844.
Whoa, Q. Whoa there.
I think
our records can't even be trusted if you just throw them down wrong like that.
I think dyslexia should actually be pronounced slexdecia, so the people that have it will know what they have.
His opinions are purely our own. They do not reflect 90 FM in any way.
Oh, all right. Well, that's pretty much the halfway point. Do we want to go to a song and then switch our gears or whatever afterwards?
We can switch to whatever we want to talk about after this.
It's a neat little partition.
You got the brand new Mogwai EP thing back here.
Yes, and it's very cool.
Very cool. Want me to play the first track right off of it?
As long as it's not incredibly long. I think the tracks on that range
2
between
minutes.
4 and 5. All right, yep, that'll be perfect then.
All right. Yep, here is Mogwai off their brand new album, Earth Division, here on 90 FM, your only alternative.
Para videojuegos.
90 Terabytes of Alternative Gaming does not represent the views of WWSP, 90 FM, or the University of Wisconsin school system. The views expressed and the information given in this broadcast can be used at the sole risk of the listener.
I mean, let's face it, the opinion of these two guys is about as pristine as Wikipedia. After all, their source is the internet. And now, back to the show.
Hello, and welcome back to our show. This is 90 Terabytes of Alternative Gaming. If you thought our show was a regular time slot, then you're just tuning in, and I guess I apologize, but we let you know. Either way.
Yes,
we're a
we
video game talk
start
show.
At 5 o'clock now.
Yes.
On Wednesdays. We're a video game talk show. We talk about video games, video game companies, people who play video games.
Video game musicians, if we ever end up... we have already,
we talked
so
about
yeah.
it a couple times.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely be talking about it after all the games come out here this Christmas time.
Yes.
They will be.
Skyrim is going to have a ridiculous soundtrack.
Yeah, there'll be some pretty awesome ones that will be coming out. But yeah, we are a video game talk show. We start at 5 o'clock here on Wednesday, here on WWSP Stevens Point. In the air chair today, we have Q here talking.
Alongside Taylor and our guest for the week,
Brian.
And we just reviewed Madden. We gave it a 79.844 out of 100.
Yes.
Reviewed here by Brian.
That is literally the most precise grade we've ever given, by the way.
I try.
Sniper grading.
It's good.
But yeah, we got lots of awesome stories to talk about besides Madden. We gave it a whole 30 minutes to talk about since it's going to be, I think, probably up there the top 5 games that's selling of the year. That's how Maddens normally are. But the, what we say, 23-year-old franchise or whatever, it's a pretty old game. But yeah, we got some fantastic stories sitting in front of you. What would you like to talk about first, Taylor?
Well, do you want to real quick just mention Minecraft? Because there's not that much, but there's one big thing.
Yeah, the big thing is either the game, the next patch, the adventure update, which has gotten tons of press from lots of random news people. The next patch to the beta game will be either coming out tomorrow or on Monday, or never. That's entirely plausible.
That would be a bummer.
Yeah, it would be.
All of this hype and then just gone.
Yeah, we've talked about it before with other guests, but yeah, not much new news coming out.
Other than the announcement, which I think is pretty cool to actually have some form of tentative date tied to it finally. Because otherwise it was just indefinite suspense. Which I don't think my heart could take anymore. It was getting a little bit too old. But in terms of actual stories then, we could talk briefly, I guess, about Diablo. We've been mentioning that a lot. Yep. And the closed beta is apparently, in their own terms, this is a very specific timeline, very close.
You can actually download the beta right now.
Okay.
But you do not have an account to access it because it is all completely online, like they've been saying.
Yeah.
You can download the game right now if you want to. I know there's a lot of Diablo 2 players and Diablo 1 players out there in the listening world, and a lot of people who play World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Who naturally going to play any Blizzard game they ever put out. So, yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of people who would play this game and will be buying this game, regardless that that they decided to have. You always have to be online.
Yeah.
You always have to have a constant internet connection. And there's a lot of people.
It's
who
an
still
increasing
don't.
trend in games too.
Which is it's 2011. You think that Actually, I met a guy with dial-up the other day, which was fun. So
I mean, there are
painful.
still people who do it, but they aren't catering to those people. They don't. I
would also say that most people who don't have internet though probably aren't making purchases for next gen games or AAA games like Diablo 3. But either way, it's one approach to gaming, I guess. I don't necessarily agree with it, even though there are compelling points as to why everyone should have internet access anyways. But either way, do you have it that way? Did you get accepted to the beta? I know you were. Okay. I don't know.
I don't think they've sent out betas at all, invites at all yet.
I thought they sent out the invites. They just haven't. Okay.
As far as I know, I haven't seen anyone who got one.
Okay.
But you can download it. I don't know if you can get
also,
into it
apparently, according to this article, there will not be a non-disclosure agreement with this one.
Wow. Then this isn't a beta. This is a, hey, look, this is our game. Play it now before you buy it.
That's what betas have been lately. Betas have been pretty much quotable lately. You could put quotations around it because they're mostly
Star
demos.
Wars one.
Well, yes.
That was a very big non-disclosure agreement.
Yeah. But, I mean, you see it with a lot of games. Yeah. I think StarCraft 2 really had that. They made the same kind of updates that they've made to StarCraft 2 ever since then.
They call it a closed beta, but in reality it's an open beta with an exclusive intro to see the game and then tell everyone about it.
Yeah.
And, it's a good way that's a really good way to advertise your game. I mean, you're like, hey, this is our game. Play it and tell everyone about it.
Well, not to beat a dead horse, but the Madden 11 demo was a full game. It was the game. It was with the Bears and Packers, and you played the demo. That's how we practiced for the tournament before the game came out. So
wow. I mean, if you're gonna make a profit, go ahead. I mean, that's truly what it is. It's all about making money. That's the video game industry.
But what confuses
most
me
of these
is,
games are gonna make more than 3 or 4 Hollywood movies together.
But do they call it, at that point, it's not really a beta, though, for some of those. Why don't they just call it a demo?
It's more a preview or
well, I mean, it's a demo. We've had those around forever.
Yeah.
I don't know why we don't call it a demo instead. I don't know if they think that it sounds more prestigious.
There should be a distinction between a beta and a demo. I feel like a beta maybe is like a pre-launch, like, hey, we're not done with this yet. Here, check it out. Where a demo is, we're completely done with this. Here's a snippet of the game.
Exactly. And I think, I mean, with a beta, you're supposed to be advertising interest in the game, not the game itself. You're supposed to be like, does this seem like something you think is awesome? Yeah. And you go, yeah, that is. Or, you tell them what's wrong with it. With the demo, you can't be just like, this is, I don't like that. You should think about changing that. And they're not going to take that to heart. It's a demo.
Yeah.
Which I don't think anyone's going to make any groundbreaking changes to Diablo after they get the beta.
No, I don't think Blizzard would do that.
Yeah.
Though then again, they made some pretty groundbreaking changes to World of Warcraft after it came out.
I guess, they do a lot of update patching.
Yeah, a lot of
they do a lot. But
I mean, they're actually groundbreaking. Like this is completely changing. Like we're completely adding this. We're completely changing this.
But that's the nature of an MMO, I think.
Yeah.
As someone who doesn't really play MMOs, I would say that my understanding.
We're talking about a company, and they're bridging the line between single player and not single player with Diablo.
Mm-hmm. Except they said that if you're not playing online, you're not doing it right, quote unquote. Is there really going to be any single playerness to it? Like you say, they're bridging the gap.
What they did, and if you don't know, obviously I don't think Brian knows this, they added an auction house to the game where you can sell items in the game for real money.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's like Second Life.
But it's like Farmville. I mean, that's truly.
Speaking of Farmville, I saw. Hold on a second. I saw Farmville gift cards at Walmart.
They sell Farmville gift cards.
Lord.
What? You can buy Facebook credits for Farmville at GameStop and Farmville, or at all these places.
Those Facebook. I was playing Oregon Trail,
ridiculous.
and it wanted me to buy with money so I could fix my wagon wheel, and I was like, heck no.
You can get the real game for free.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's an educational game.
If I am gonna die of dysentery, I am not paying for it. All right. That's all I have to say about that.
Pay $1 to fix your wagon wheel, get hit by an accidental gunshot wound.
Do you want to ford or caulk the river? That will be $5.
You can find. You could find Indians to help you get across the river, and you actually give them real money instead.
I've already donated enough money to the Indians this month at the casino, so.
Our opinions.
Our opinions are really low. I think that's the 4th time we've mentioned it.
All right. Do you want to talk about Call of Duty? Because
we can talk about Call of Duty. The obvious going to be in the top 5 of the biggest games of the year again.
Number 1, probably.
We're not sure about that because Battlefield is gaining steam.
Battlefield is just shining. They've done very well, but Modern Warfare lately has kind of done a few surprising moves to me. And I think one of the coolest ones is something I barely even think about this anymore because no games really have that anymore. But they're going to be having LAN support for it.
Like how you used to play old StarCraft, what me and Brian did when we were a lot younger.
Or like a Counter-Strike LAN that I would do that all the time.
Yeah, heck yeah.
And we used to have parties at the teen center in Port Edwards, Wisconsin. We would sit there with a group of 20, 30.
Those are awesome. I mean, that's something that most games really don't allow, though. You need to all be hooked up to the internet. But so that'll be interesting. And then there's a bunch of stuff. Apparently, they're gonna have improved theater mode, which means nothing to me. But some people, I'm assuming, would be excited about that. But they're also saying there will not be any zombies. So I'm assuming they're trying to really rely on their gameplay a lot more.
Or they're gonna charge $20, $25
to get zombies.
Yeah.
That wouldn't surprise me, but they're losing. Why would they do that?
Right.
If they're already losing like that campaign so hard, they'll also. I've said this before. I think it's only on the intense or true gamer level that they're really losing, because they're modern. Or let's see, where is it? I have this story somewhere. Black Ops apparently sold like 18. It's
the most downloaded content update ever.
Yeah, their map packs have like, I think they made 18 million fun dollars or something. It says on map packs, just map packs.
That's outrageous.
That's absolutely outrageous. But the fact of the matter is, even though that was supposedly the worst one, everyone's buying this. And I think that might happen with Modern Warfare 3. Just like the market that is not making their voice heard because they do other things. They're not, quote unquote gamers. It's just someone who, I play games occasionally. And that person is going to, I think, support Modern Warfare 3 a lot more.
Diving even deeper into the Call of Duty, you actually have the ability to restrict anything you want in the game, like you could in GoldenEye in the past. You can restrict any weapons, equipment, perks, death streaks, secondary attachments, anything that you can use in the game, you can restrict. That is awesome.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Because that's how GoldenEye was.
Yeah, and
that's how all those awesome old N64 games, PlayStation games. I mean, I think the first Call of Duty you could do that too.
Yep, you could make specialized servers where it was knives and scouts only or something like that, and that's awesome to me. That's
can do
almost
this with
mod
the brand
servering.
new Call of Duty. And it's like we were talking not that long ago when we saw first videos of Battlefield 3. We're like, wow, that's amazing. And so then bad things started coming out about Call of Duty, and now awesome things are coming out about Call of Duty, and awesome things are coming out about Battlefield.
Though also a few small negative things, not huge, but Battlefield, they said they're not doing mod support, right?
I don't.
They're not getting any
mod
support
for
that.
That's not truly the biggest problem.
It's not the biggest, but I mean, it's just it's more pinholes are coming into what used to be like the almighty one, and the one that was kind of forgotten about almost has been making itself present at least.
Yeah. Because EA is dumping $1 billion fund dollars into advertising.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, the whole Origins thing is going to be weird.
Yeah.
Modern Warfare picking Steam, I think, was a good move probably by them.
Yeah, and I mean, that's truly what you're dealing with there is just on the PC. But, I mean, you've got all the consoles are going to be the big part of both these games.
Yes.
It
looks like Modern Warfare is trying to go to the other side, actually.
Yeah,
I think they're trying to appeal to PC.
Battlefield's trying very hard PC, and Modern Warfare is trying very hard with the consoles.
I don't know.
Both games are going to make a ton of money. There's no argument
no question.
A big one that just came out with EA for Battlefield 3 is the battle log. What they used to give away for free for Halo, you'd go online, you could see what you did in the previous matches.
Yeah.
They won't charge it all for the battle log for Battlefield 3, so you can see all that stuff.
Yeah.
but Call of Duty XP
it's like a subscription
and Call of Duty
thing.
Elite, you pay for. XP is their free version of it.
See, I wouldn't see with these if I'm Call of Duty, if I'm Battlefield, I'm dropping the price of my game just because I know that if I'm $10 cheaper than the other guy, I can get them to buy the game, blow them out of the water, because I'm going to get all the online map packs and all these extra perks and stuff. I mean, the new game's $60 or whatever. I'm dropping it down to $50.
Actually, I'm surprised we haven't
whatever.
seen games do that to a small extent, at least. If they're going to make so much off their DLC, you'd think they'd try to get more people to buy it, because that'll get more people to get the DLC as well, and they could convince people to buy their game, and then end up making more money than they would have off of a $60 game.
It's like the same reason amusement parks give away free passes, because they know once you're in there, you're going to buy food.
I mean, if you go to Disneyland, a cup of coffee is $10.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. So they don't mind giving you a free ticket because they know you're going to drop mega cash once you're in there.
Yeah.
Same concept.
I don't know. And these companies are gigantic, and they're going to make billions of fund dollars on this.
Billions.
Yeah.
Billions.
Mr. Bigglesworth.
But Battlefield 3 beta going to be coming out very soon also, along with the Diablo beta. I'm assuming a lot of people are going to get that. I'm not entirely certain if you'll be able to see it on the consoles, because betas don't normally come out for consoles. The the Halo 3 beta was a big one, and that you got with buying
Reach. Halo Reach.
Yep.
No. The Halo 3 beta came out.
No,
with...
Halo Reach beta came with Halo 3 ODST. If that's what you're thinking.
No,
of.
but Halo 3, the beta.
Oh,
for
that
Halo
did come
3,
out with something. What did that come out with?
The one where you could run around. It was like a platformer.
Mirror's
the
Edge. No,
Nope.
it wasn't Mirror's Edge, though.
Nope.
It's a platformer.
We're staring at each other.
Platformer.
If you're out there in the listening
so
world
much brain fartage.
and if you remember what game came and gave us the Halo 3 beta back, I believe in 2007, we would love to know right on our Facebook page.
I can't remember.
If you want to like us on Facebook, you are also welcome to do that. You don't have to. You don't have to do anything. You can sit at home on your couch and play video games, or you can stare at the wall. You don't have to breathe if you don't want to.
But if you really don't want to,
that's the point.
We're bending the definition of have to.
Moving on, another big shooter came out very recently called Red Orchestra 2. There's not much information I have here because I have not played it, but I know they have 32 versus 32 player battles.
Yeah.
That's very cool. And they also were not very many companies do this, but if you bought Red Orchestra 1, you got Red Orchestra 2 for I think like 80%.
Half price or something. Okay.
It was like you got it cheaper.
That's very cool though.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot.
You reward somebody who bought your first game.
Yeah, keep loyal customers.
Exactly. And that's very, very cool. I mean, most companies don't have anything to do that. Specifically EA and Activision just don't care. Oh, you bought Guitar Hero 1, 2, 3, 5, 9, and 36? Oh, you can't have number 932.
Well, I mean, that's exemplified actually in Madden, I would say, too.
Yeah,
they're making the game every year, and every time you're paying full price for it.
Well, it's basically, it's almost like a culture type of thing where there's Guitar Hero people that will always buy Guitar Hero games as soon as they come out. Madden, I will probably, no matter how bad the game sucks, because I'm just part of that culture, I will probably always buy that game, so.
Mm-hmm. The biggest recorded viewers for a StarCraft match.
MLG Raleigh.
Yep, MLG Raleigh. Actually, through one of our sponsors, Gaming Generations, they had a tournament in lacrosse for MLG.
I did not know.
Yep, and the next round was Raleigh, and they had 138,000 viewers.
Yep.
Online.
So Ustream or?
It was probably on their website.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, people from
because there's the two TV channels.
Yeah.
Both in Korea that broadcast most all these things live because it's a TV station that talks just about StarCraft.
It's just insane.
Yeah, I can't imagine. But I've watched a few of them. I mean, GOM TV is one of them, and there's other ones. I mean, these are just TV channels that play StarCraft matches and talk about the gigantic StarCraft people. And the Raleigh is the fourth competition in this 6-part this city hopping tour all across America. And they have live streams from Orlando and Providence are the next ones. If you missed the StarCraft 2 and League of Legends tournaments, you can watch them on their website if you want to, obviously. But they had 138,000 people watching them live. These are StarCraft matches.
From 173 countries, by the way.
Wow.
Everywhere.
Which is pretty much every country.
Yeah.
Watch
There's
out.
240 countries, and most of those don't have internet.
Watch out, 2.5 Men.
Yep. Apparently, cumulatively, 3 million hours were spent watching that.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That is a lot of people watching a StarCraft game, and actually a couple StarCraft games. But these guys are amazing. I mean, I've watched StarCraft matches. These guys,
Oh yeah, no. I'm not even very good at that, and I mean, it's amazing to watch. You don't even have to fully
it's like they use
know how to
both
play.
their hands and 2 feet and their nose to play this game, and they're better than you by like a million factor.
I feel like how fast they build pylons and just everything.
It's instantaneous. They know exactly. Like I watched one of them, and the guy who was on top just literally never looked at his minerals. He knew exactly what he had the entire time.
God.
He knew exactly. He was calculating in his head the actual fraction, the amount of time he was taking to get them, to spend them. He knew the exact thing. And when he attacked stuff, he was like clicking a million times.
Do you think he had to play a lot to do that?
I'm pretty sure he
okay.
did.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, MLG Raleigh, 138,000 viewers. That is outrageous.
Absolutely
that's
huge.
Huge amount. What's next, sir? Which next story we got here?
I'm kind of bummed that we didn't mention this earlier, actually, because we were talking about World of Warcraft. But apparently, the lead developer of World of Warcraft has said that the continual decline that they've been having makes perfect sense, and they think apparently that PCs are going under some form of overhaul. They say that it's a re-emerging sort of platform, and it's because they're giving you like different. I don't know. It's a very confusing statement actually to me, but he's apparently justifying it and thinks that. Let's see. Things. Well, also apparently he talks about the fact that people get tired of the game, which is utterly
Which is very
obvious.
true. I mean, I stopped playing World of Warcraft.
After putting in 5 84-hour sessions in a row, I think little Billy probably would get sick of the game.
Anybody would, yeah.
Actually, the matter of fact, the day I bought the game, Mr. Brian was at Walmart. When I bought World of Warcraft 6 years ago, he told me, "Do not buy this game.
It will suck you in and destroy your soul."
That's pretty close to what you told me, and I didn't listen. And I played for many years. Made quite a few friends though.
It's good.
It was a very fun time. I wish that I wouldn't have spent I think probably 130 days of playing time.
My brother's pretty hardcore WoW, and he actually he drove to New York and visited one of his guild leaders along the way. No lie. Like, they got that close, and they're all friends, and seriously, yeah.
I know my guild has meetups every once in a while in some places, mostly Atlanta. They're all down there. But
now, from what he's saying in here, apparently the guy is mostly crediting it to they're losing their players because the PC seems to be making a huge influx in variety. Because, I guess, games are moving towards the PC just due to the flexibility it has. And they say that the larger, conglomerate of PC games that's come with digital distribution and gaming just advancing in general has made so much variety that everyone's moving. Would you agree with that, I guess? I mean, you play.
I think they're trying to just figure out why they've lost 1 million subscribers in this past year.
But, I mean, he apparently treats it like it's not a problem. But I'm assuming it's probably mostly to save face.
Well, look how much money Blizzard made from World of Warcraft.
Yeah, fair enough.
1 million people probably doesn't hurt them that much.
No, $15 a month? Are you kidding me?
What? Talk about the next story or what?
Yes, you pick the next story. I'm saying
crazily. Well, I literally have 5 minutes left here. Oh,
we do.
Yep. So I want to talk because I am in the Star Wars: The Old Republic beta. I can say that. I can't say much more about it, but they've been adding beta servers and etc. Lots and lots of people have been invited, and things have been delayed by lots of things. The European beta testing has been delayed. They were going to have a very big beta test for lots of people in Europe, but they're having a new build for the game. Right now, the entire client for the game is 27 gigabytes.
Wow.
Everything is voiced. Everything is scripted. It's very cool. Everything is cutscene. Every quest has a cutscene, and this is an MMO.
That's impressive. It's very impressive. Is it a dynamic cutscene? Okay. He's not answering that over the air, which is good, I guess.
No, I'm reading it
so
right
I'm not
here.
going to let you know. Oh, okay, good. I thought that you were saying that from inside info. Okay. No. Then, yes, because he was nodding, which is difficult to pick up through your radio, really.
Beta invites are coming out for lots of people, so if you really want to get into Star Wars beta, I know there's a lot of people who do. A lot. Because it's a very big game. I mean, if you played any of the KOTOR games, those were huge. Those were almost flawless games. 10 out of 10 for most everybody who played them. And those were on the plain old Xbox back in the day. And it took them this long. It's very, 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 very cool that they're starting to do big beta invites. But they haven't given us a release date yet for it.
Okay.
And I mean, this is what's going to have the competition for World of Warcraft. So, I mean, this is money. This is big money.
And Warcraft needs competition.
Yeah, because right now they haven't had anything forever.
And
they had EverQuest and they destroyed it.
Yeah. But what's interesting to me is that they essentially have a monopoly and they're still hemorrhaging people.
Yeah.
I think the competition's almost needed, though. I mean, without competition, I don't think you have a source of,
There's nothing pushing them to make it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. I mean, that's in any industry, really.
Right.
But but 27 gigabytes is also a very bad thing.
For some people. I mean,
every other country besides the United States of America where you have download caps.
Oh, you're right. Because wait, there's not going to be any hard copy available.
Oh yeah, there will be.
Okay, well then I mean that'll help a lot.
27 gigabytes and then a patch to a 27 gigabyte game is going to be a gigabyte.
I guess, yeah.
Download limits in some countries are going to just skyrocket.
You're going to need the full 90 terabytes.
I think, yeah, like 90 terabytes of alternative gaming, the show you're currently listening to. Yeah, I mean, even like New Zealand, you can't. I think it's like a half a gig.
Half a gig?
Really?
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I'll do that in a night.
Yeah, I was about to say.
20 minutes.
If you're on Reddit for like 10 minutes, you've already loaded enough images.
Yeah, that's going to hurt a lot of people, and hopefully there'll be ways to fix that. I mean, yeah. And we got one little last story here before we get off the air, and Sports Beat comes on the air. Yeah, what do we else? We got anything left?
Well, apparently, now, Q remembers us mentioning this, I don't. We talked about the Team Fortress 2 Meet the Medic thing that came out recently. And Team Fortress does a lot of these where Valve will make like official like meet the character things, and they're always really well done. They're always really funny, and I've watched most of them for TF2. And I guess they're now announcing that Dota 2 will be getting these for their characters as well, which should be really interesting. They had one available, but I was on a radio station computer and it was being goofy, so I couldn't watch it. It sounds interesting.
Yeah, they're going to try to hype this game up as much as they could. They unveiled the game with a $2 million fun dollar competition.
Yeah.
$2 million. They
dollars.
unveiled it game. They unveiled it. Like, literally, nobody had seen a thing until they did that. $2 million.
It's like the Wizard again.
That's just
but slightly more expensive.
Yeah, I mean, it's just random. Oh, yeah, we're gonna have $2 million tournament, $20 million fun dollar tournament. Great. Okay.
Well, I mean, when you do something I don't expect, it gets a lot of attention. I mean, I still remember the Wizard, and that's a terrible movie. It's just because it was unexpected.
Who's the main character in that again?
Oh, I don't remember his name at all.
Fred Savage.
Okay.
There we go.
Yes. Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad.
Oh,
it was awesome.
Kevin Arnold.
All right. Should we wrap it up here then, so Sports Speed does not get cut?
Thank you for listening to 90 Terabytes of Alternative Gaming here on 90 FM. You're listening to WWSP Stevens Point. If you loved our show, if you want to, you can go on Facebook and like us if you want to. We'd like to have discussions. 90 Terabytes of Alternative Gaming is brought to you by Tech Lounge, located here in Stevens Point, and Gaming Generations, located here in Stevens Point. Gaming Generations is located at 135 Division Street, Stevens Point, Wisconsin, right next to Subway.
China Walk.
Yep, all those little restaurants over there on Division Street. And the Tech Lounge is located right downtown, next to the whole downtown strip.
Yep.
Located at 1036 Main Street, Stevens Point, Wisconsin. We'd like to thank both of our sponsors for being incredible.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Generally awesome.
Yep. And thank you for having our guest.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Brian, thank you.
Had a lot of fun. It was good.
Yes. And that's our show. We're going to finish up here. We have a 5-minute song by Mogwai off their Earth Division EP. Yeah. Huh?
It sounds like about it.
The song is Drunken Crazy by Mogwai here on 90 FM, your only alternative
for gaming.